Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. First of all, let me take you through my preferred wave count, which is that of the December low, we rallied in a wave 1, we came down in a wave 2 in an ABC correction. Then after that low, which was made on the 10th of March, we rallied in another wave 1, and we're looking now at a WXY correction, which comes down in a wave 2. Relevant support is 1778, and this particular wave count is valid and likely as long as we're holding that 1778 level, the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement. Below that level, I would have to reset the large wave 2, which is another bullish pattern that's available. Basically my bullish alternative, and price could drop to $12 in this scenario, but that is really the last bullish scenario I have left. Now if we zoom in a little bit, we can see that in this particular Y wave, so that's the X wave top, that's the Y wave low, already hit our trend reversal or support area. That's been on the chart for, well, months now, I think. In this Y wave, we're looking at this A, B, C structure. And ideally, the C wave gets 5 waves down. If it doesn't get 5 waves down, then we're looking here at a WXY structure. But it can be counted very nicely as a 5-wave move down, that A wave. And therefore, I'm looking rather as an ABC. Because in a WXY, the subwaves are 3-wave structures. So ideally, I'm waiting here for another low. Again, it doesn't technically need that low, because from a wave count point of view, we could still use that WXY option, and it also hit our yellow support area already, which means it made it, from a retracement point of view, it did enough. It did enough in terms of correction, but it looks like it wants to fulfill that that expectation of another low. It's moving in a descending wedge. That's generally a pattern that you would expect to, to break to the upside eventually. Because what does this bullish pattern indicate? Well, it indicates exhaustion on the seller side. Yeah, you get contracting or smaller or reducing volatility. Yeah, you see a reduction in volatility, you see a reduction in volume. The sellers are getting weaker. That's why you can see that the lower trend line gets less steep, or is less steep than the top one. And you can see that the sellers have more and more difficulty in the end to push the price further down. And there's more and more, it gets to a standstill at some point, and the buyers and the sellers, they come to an agreement where price should get to before seeing a reversal. And that often happens in these wedges, also called ending diagonal in Elliott wave language. And if we're now looking at this 5th wave to the downside, we have to understand it as an ABC structure most likely. Because again, here I'm counting the C wave within the Y wave as ending diagonal. So we're waiting for 5 waves, and each of the subwaves is a 3-wave structure. So going to the 1-hour chart may give us a little bit more of a detailed view. And we came down in an A wave, which is a 5-wave move. We moved up in a nice 3-wave structure in the B wave. And now we're coming down probably in the C wave. And And all the C wave, what does the C wave need to do? The C wave needs to go below the A wave low. So that's what we want to do. And what does the wave 5 need to do? The wave 5 needs to go below the 3rd wave low. So it could be that one more low is enough. Yeah, I mean, you could make the case that, and there's different ways of counting this then, but you could make the case that we had a tiny wave 1 here at wave 2. This was a wave 3, typically the longest one. Yeah, and that this is now a 4, and we could get one more low in a 5. So that next low might be the last one. It might be, doesn't have to be. You can always extend. That's also why we use the Fibonacci extension tool, which can give us further clues of where that might go to, So for example, we can use the tool to measure the wavelength of the A wave. And we go to the top of the B wave and we get, well, here the $20 level was the 1-to-1 ratio. In yesterday's first video, I told you watch the $20 level because one of the Fib retracements extensions points to that level. So we saw a bounce, but so far only in 3 waves. Doesn't look like we've bottomed, but bear in mind we can bottom at any time here. Not in the bearish count, but there's obviously one where we already could have bottomed. It's not my primary, but it exists, okay? So be aware. I mean, I don't think there is much more downside here. But I would, in my primary expectation, I would like to see it to go sort of into that sort of $19 range. Yeah, we've got here the 1.618 level, for example, pointing to $19.50. Another way of measuring, and we looked at that before, and they are unfortunately all viable ways and legitimate ways of calculating here a target. We can also take the larger ABC structure, and then the C-wave target takes us to $18.70, for example. And then within the yellow box anyway, I mean, we know that price can go all the way to 17.78 in the current scenario without shifting probabilities towards something more bearish. But bear in mind that we're constrained by the wedge most likely. So for me, it's like ideally at least one more low. But if I see an impulsive reversal that basically that sees price break out of the descending wedge in an impulsive manner, then I would consider that we have bottomed already. Because again, you know, we see lots of WXY structures at the moment in crypto. You know, nothing stopping price to do this WXY where we could have already bottomed here on the 12th of May. I find it less likely because I think it can be counted better as an ABC. But again, you know, it's in the end, it's a bit of a matter of interpretations. And then you always see a few distortions. Let's see. I think so far the analysis is guided as well. We've hit at least the trend reversal area, reacted to it. Now we've come to $20, but so far no impulsive reversal. So the expectation has to be one more low at least. Okay. That's my update about Solana. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.